Hello, everyone, and welcome to SPM Academy Last Thursday's webinar. We were formerly known for the last 4 years as Last Thursdays, but for consistency with other live on ServiceNow offerings, as we kick off our 5th year, we've changed our name to SPM Academy to better reflect the type of content we provide in this series. I'm Debbra McGrath, Principal Product Marketing Engineer with ServiceNow and SPM Academy webinars host. I'm very happy to be joined today by one of our IT asset management subject matter experts, Adam Smith-Cairns. Adam is a senior product marketing manager who will discuss how you can use SPM, APM, and ITAM together as a seamless solution to help you optimize technology spend and mitigate risk. And once Adam sets the scene with the challenges around this, the personas involved, the solution, and benefits, I'll jump in for a few minutes to provide a brief solution story, including embedded demo vignettes. And we'll have a few minutes at the end for Q&A and to share some upcoming events and resources. Before we do that, I'd just like to point out our safe harbor notice. While most of what we'll be discussing and showing you are features that are available as of our Vancouver release, this presentation may contain forward-looking statements that reflect the current beliefs of ServiceNow, all based on current information available. Actual results may differ materially and should not be relied upon in making purchasing decisions. So Adam, thanks so much for being here. We've had the pleasure to work together and deliver this presentation a couple of times internally, and I'm really looking forward to sharing it for the first time with our external audience today.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, Deborah. And you sold it a little bit short on your part because I think you're going to have a lot of discussion here. That's the point of this, is we're going to have a good discussion. So,
oh, absolutely.
Anyway.
In fact, Adam, let's begin by talking about what's driving the need for this solution, and not the least of which is the economy and cost-cutting requirements, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Obviously, in the last couple of years, we've seen this trends towards cost optimization and reducing risk as well. Both of those things have skyrocketed, and this solution really applies to that. But many of the things that are setting that up are pointed out here. As we went looking for even quotes and different trends, we found them in all 3 of those big analysts, Gartner, Forrester, IDC, which really just point to the fact that it's among the top 3 priorities. It's the number 1 priority. It's 60% of CIOs by a certain time are expected to be looking at this as if they can't contribute with that, optimizing the value stream and what they provide, and using agile architecture and risk management, that they will fall way behind. And so there's a lot to that and a lot to digest, but obviously the industry is feeling it, and we believe that probably our audience is feeling that too. And I would suggest that as we go through this, that we also have people chime in through the chat and provide their input or insights as well.
So now that you've set that stage as what we're going to talk about, let's focus on who cares about this, who are the personas involved, and what's currently working for them.
Yeah, we think of people in both of these teams are really heroes to their organization, and they're doing a lot of things right. We hope that they're doing things with our technologies and doing things really well, but we also know that there's even challenges with that. But in the case of like technology asset management, there's things that they're doing well with the asset life cycles and managing that and automating that. And then compliance and security risk, and those things are outside of just the license compliance with dealing with vendors and things like that. So at the end user service, being able to provide that experience, that employee experience, and the inventory management, hopefully they're doing those things well. And if they have, like in our arsenal, we have software asset management, hardware asset management, cloud cost management, enterprise asset management. There aren't too many players out there that have all of those arrows in their quiver to address all the assets that you're doing. And so on the enterprise architecture side, I'm sure that people are involved in the strategic planning, the architectural frameworks. They're doing well at staging those projects and being able to align things to their goals and things like that. So, and you could probably speak a little bit more to that, Deborah, as some of the things that they're doing well, or give examples of that. Very good. But, there's kind of a silo effect between these 2 groups in some ways. And I've even seen it as we've gone out and talked to our enterprise architects, and many of them don't understand some of the features and capabilities that are available even through our asset management products. It is kind of like, oh, wow, if we don't know, then maybe we need to share more with our customers too. Success factors. So we see that when the two teams have visibility into the data, the same data, that's important. And when they collaborate together, they're successful. And when they align their goals together. The cool thing about some of our asset management products is there's a success portal where you can put your goals in there and address those goals. And some of those could be, taken from SPM as well. So automation, being able to automate workflows between the two groups. And so I would say for this audience, what else? We put that at the bottom of each because we know that each organization is a little bit different. But what are other success factors you've seen when you've been working between these two teams? I'm curious.
Speaking of what else, Adam, what are the challenges that these teams are having?
Well, on the challenges side of things, and these, by the way, at least the technology asset management side, are actually ranked based on an EMA report, Enterprise Management Associates report that we have available. When you look at the end user experience, that's big. So they're trying to make sure that the end user experience or the employee experience is a fantastic one, but at the same time, it is a challenge in doing it based on the technologies they have and systems in place and the technology that's flowing into the company. Budgeting and decision making is very important, but at the same time is a challenge, especially like in the case of cloud cost management, just being able to manage all the different vendors from AWS to Azure and those things and manage those under a comprehensive budget. Risk and data security. There's a lot of every time we've done this report, risk and data security is one of the highest ones up there, because what you have like in software asset management applies into like vulnerability management or vulnerability and risk management. So cost reduction in controls, having those in place, and having everybody make sure that they apply those. And then operational efficiencies is always something that they're looking at. And that's why we often talk about optimize costs. So I would say what else? Well, there are common things here. So visibility shows up again, and we see that time and time again. Inefficiencies that happen between the organization, the different organizations, and collaboration. Sometimes these groups actually report up into a different C-level person as well. So sometimes that may create even more of a silo effect. And so that collaboration breaks down. And then alignment between the goals of the company and the goals that they're going after sometimes is another challenge, is getting everybody on the same page. And then that increased risk on one side or the other. If somebody's doing their job not so well on one side, it increases the risk to the organization, both from a security thing or from a compliance or different areas of risk. Here's kind of the value statement of what we bring with a solution that ties everything together on the Now platform. And that is, we bring your teams together. That's a big part of it. When everything is running on one platform, you get so much synergy and automation, and there's lots of things that are going to happen with AI as well, or are happening right now because it's all on that one system. So we can bring those teams together and optimize technology spend and mitigate risk is a part of that we think that even many of our competitors are challenged with providing that holistic view into that capability. So I think this is where we really shine. Now, one of the ways that we like to work with our customers is to kind of go in and break down how can we get from here to there. And as you guys are the strategic people and strategic thinkers, you get that broad vision idea more than others maybe in the organization. But as we go in, we work in these three stages. And the first one is to really consolidate and put everything into that, into a single inventory and make sure that the data is clean and that we're not dealing with different data. And we're also consolidating tools. We're setting up the technology reference model. We're making sure that assets as well as technologies can be onboarded. So we're doing a bunch of those things that give you quick wins. And then as you go into stage 2, where we're automating a lot of processes and workflows between teams and in the tech lifecycle itself, and that's where we're going to get to drive a lot of efficiency in the organization. And then in that final stage is we're optimizing those costs and mitigating the risks and getting that. We're also looking at ways that we can get the best return on the technology investments, and as well as scale the results that you've done in the other ones. Now, if I were, when I first was looking at this model, I'd look at it with a critical thinking and think, well, I want to optimize costs. Do I have to wait that long to get there? And the answer is no. These results actually fit into each one. So you'll have automation in the consolidation space. You'll have optimization in the consolidation space, but it's the focus in that phase that we're doing. So you will have quick wins, and you will have cost optimization, and you'll have things that will benefit. With that, I'm going to pass it along to Deborah to show you, just to give you a glimpse.
Thank you, Adam. So what I'm going to do is take the next few minutes, and based on the stage that Adam set with the challenges, the successes, the different personas that are involved, I'm going to tell you a little story about how a team across a global organization uses the ServiceNow platform to optimize their technology spend and ensure continued governance to support their business needs, as well as mitigate risk. And this demo, we're calling it a visual demo story. So it's basically a story that involves these 3 different personas, and it's built around a larger demo. And if you'd like to see in more detail, reach out to your sales team, because they'll have access to the same solution. So Acme Corporation is a global organization with offices in New York, London, Canada, and other locations around the world. And they're in the middle of their ServiceNow journey. And they set a 2-year goal to optimize technology spend by 10% by the end of this year. And so far, they've achieved 8% reduction, and they've got 2% more to go. And what we're going to show you is how the ServiceNow platform has helped the team at Acme accomplish this so far, as well as how they'll use ServiceNow to continue to achieve success. And we're going to begin with Claire, Acme's CIO, and Claire and her executive team need visibility into the progress against Acme's business goals. She must ensure continuous alignment of investments and IT resources with business strategy, and she needs to prioritize all their work by making data-driven decisions about demands. And she works closely with the VP of Enterprise Architecture, Ethan, who must manage technology lifecycle risks while ensuring that Acme has adequate usage of all their technology. And Ethan collaborates with Anna, the VP of IT Asset Management, to optimize terms of licensing renewals. And Anna also has responsibility to maintain optimal technology spend by managing overlapping applications and cloud migration opportunities. And throughout this story, ServiceNow enables governance around planning, alignment, and execution to ensure that this ongoing process includes the continuous success for the Acme team. And as Steve Jobs knew, great things are accomplished by great teams, and they can achieve great outcomes even faster and better when they're enabled with a great platform. So let's see how. So at their headquarters in New York, the office of the CIO and Acme's executive leadership team is laser focused on the goals, investments, and demands that will help them achieve their top business priorities for this year. The CIO, Claire, and her entire executive team have the insights they need to track Acme's top company goals in a single portfolio that they call Acme Corporation. And this includes a dashboard with at-a-glance details about total progress and status of top-level primary goals and related sub-goals and targets. And Claire is pleased to see that the primary goals to mitigate technology risk and optimize technology spend are both on track overall, as indicated by green status bars. But viewing the expanded hierarchy shows 3 out of 4 related sub-goals are also on track. However, the sub-goal to reduce overlapping usage of the assets is at only 45% progress and has a status of yellow, alerting Claire that this needs attention. So she drills into the goal for additional information on any related targets, sub-goals, and planning items that may be impacting their progress. In this case, there's a Scrum Epic, a project, and 3 demands: 1 to invest in ServiceNow PPM, 1 to retire legacy PPM, and another to migrate their on-premise HP PPM to the cloud. And all these items are related to overlapping project and portfolio management applications. And these insights help Claire and her team quickly make data-driven decisions on this work and the related demands. And planning prioritization enables the executive team to manage work for optimal outcomes. And here they can easily view and collaborate on alignment of all IT initiatives from across different business units with their overarching company objectives. And this helps ensure that they are continually working on the right things to achieve their business goals. And this actually requires insight into costs, formal prioritization methodologies like Moscow, and resource alignment in order to balance cost optimization with alignment of technical resources to their strategic initiatives. And prioritizing any type of work, such as the demand to retire the legacy PPM application, automatically adds it to their Acme Corporation portfolio roadmap, which provides the team with the ability to communicate clear technology plans of prioritized initiatives with their business goals. On the roadmap, Claire's team can easily monitor all their prioritized work across the timeline, grouped by primary goal and subgrouped and colored by planning item type. They have visibility into the status and progress of the prioritized work, which includes the 3 demands related to their PPM applications they hope will help them reduce overlapping assets and optimize their technology spend. Meanwhile, in Acme's London office, the VP of Enterprise Architecture, Ethan, is developing robust, risk-resilient architectural frameworks, overseeing governance processes, and advocating for cost-effective technology solutions, all in support of Acme's business goals. And as a catalyst for innovation, Ethan uses ServiceNow to help optimize Acme's technology landscape, ensuring adaptability, efficiency, and significant contribution to overall company success. As Acme's IT landscape has become increasingly complex, he's relied on application rationalization to align applications with critical business needs, help reduce IT costs, and mitigate technology risks. Application rationalization helps inform what applications this team should sustain, invest in, migrate, or retire. Indeed, the 3 demands the executive team just reviewed to retire the legacy PPM app, to migrate the on-premise HP PPM app, and invest in ServiceNow PPM were each created by different business units or across teams across the Acme organization. So throughout the technology lifecycle, Ethan must provide oversight to identify emerging technologies, drive innovation for competitiveness and security, and manage technology risks, including technical debt, non-compliant applications, technology currency or versioning, and upcoming end of support and end of life dates. His team is driven to help Acme achieve the goal to reduce overlapping technology. And because the legacy PPM application end of life is past due, the demand to retire the legacy PPM application was created to remove it from use and mitigate risk of using outdated technology. And similarly, his team recognized that the on-premise HP PPM application with an end of support date in June is a possible candidate for cloud migration, and they created the related demand for that application too. Ethan wants to understand usage and licensing of these PPM applications to inform these efforts, and he discusses all of this with his counterpart on the asset management team. So along with cloud migration, the asset management team, primarily working out of Acme's Canadian offices, is also focused on technology cost optimization and ongoing governance. And from Toronto, Anna, the VP of Asset Management, collaborates with Ethan on the license renewals for the PPM applications in questions. The timing couldn't be any better, as Anna and her team have been working on consolidating contracts for the project and portfolio management applications. Looking at the renewals calendar, she sees both HP PPM and Workfront applications are coming up for renewal. To research the application usage information, the enterprise architect team is looking for and moves to overlapping usage and views the detailed usage of project management applications. The workspace has organized the application categories under the application feature usage tab. Using the project management category, she wants to determine if there's an opportunity to cut costs by retiring one of the project management applications. And while comparing the usage, she immediately noticed that the Workfront application has the least usage activity, yet they're paying significantly for the subscription. The data allows her to create a demand for the SPM team to discontinue the Workfront application after the contract ends. And Anna and her team are also responsible for monitoring the progress of technology investment goals. As a result of the software success goals, they can monitor progress against goals and deliver value more rapidly through close collaboration with the enterprise architecture team. Fast forward in time, Anna meets virtually with Claire, Ethan, and others across the executive team to view their progress against Acme Corporation goals. They discuss how the team's collaborative efforts to reduce overlapping usage of assets has undeniably helped them optimize their technology spend and mitigate potential risks. While they're all very happy about this, they observe that the goal to mitigate technology risk has changed to yellow, and now it needs attention. But they're confident that they have the right team on the right platform to course correct as necessary to achieve this goal. And that's the story of how the team at Acme Corporation uses the ServiceNow platform for planning and managing their assets and technical resources and aligning teams and investments to drive collaboration throughout their technology lifecycle, all while reducing costs and risk at scale to maximize their investments. Enabled by a great platform, this team achieves great outcomes faster, better, and continuously. And Acme's brought their teams and processes seamlessly together to optimize technology spend and mitigate risks, all with ServiceNow, the single platform for digital business. So Adam, I'm going to turn that back over to you now.
Well, that was a great demo, and it was very specific in its story and looking at different ways of taking project management software, evaluating where that software is and what's being used, looking at the licenses and the contracts and where they fit. And so that's one use case of many that could be applied in this solution. And just as kind of a follow-up to that, or a review of some of those things, we'll dive down into this model of consolidate, automate, and optimize to identify some of those areas where you can drive business value, or provide, if you're building a proposal for a solution like this, or you want to show that to the organization that this thing would fit and solve some of the problems that you might be having between teams, here are some of the things we would look at. So in the consolidate space, we would look at a few things. We mentioned about being able to centralize your inventory and normalize all those assets and remove some of those data redundancies. So that would be things like your technology reference model that would apply there. And there, just recently, we had capabilities, better together capabilities between the two groups to make that even more efficient and more streamlined. Being able to streamline, speaking of streamline, the capability of planning and the lifecycle management. Now, we have these 3 bullet points here that could be applied. In each case, except for the centralize your inventory, there is a business value assessment formula that's behind this. So we can basically come in and show you the value that you're going to get and estimate that based on the numbers that you can provide us. But there are others. There are not just these 3. There are multiple business value assessment formulas that can be applied. For example, in this consolidate, you could have the tech alignment to strategy. You could also have reducing shadow IT and shadow SaaS spend. And you could do something around increase new hire effectiveness based on things that we do when we provision new equipment and have zero touch provisioning and make sure that those new hires have the technology and everything that they need right away. So in the automate space, as you saw Debra's presentation demonstration, you're able to rationalize the technology portfolio and reduce the cost by looking at what's going on, when you should retire things, looking at the risks that are based on those technologies as they're applied, and what are the risks if you pull something out of the mix to the rest of the organization. And so there's a lot there that can be automated. And then the workflows across the department and being able to scale that onboarding process for technologies and requests for that technology. And that would be going in conjunction with like a service catalog and other things that we can provide through service management. And then being able to proactively surface from the app side, business application side, or the asset management side, the security policies and controls that are in place or not in place, and to be able to make sure that those do stay in place. There are other business value assessment formulas that can be applied here. Just saying that you could build a strong case of how to do this. And then from the optimized side, you're going to be able to optimize things like the software, hardware, the spend that goes into that, the risk, when it applies to asset loss and non-compliant technology, and then being able to prioritize those roadmaps, align to goals, things like that. So there's a lot to this, and I just want to say each one of those has probably 3 to 5 more business value assessment things that you could apply to build a case. So what do you get if you just sit still? Well, we know that you just can't sit still in business, and these are data points that come from Gartner, that you will have more cost if you stick with the status quo. You'll have more risk, and that teams won't be able to adapt to the pace of change, which we know that that's essentially your job, is to be able to map that out and provide a roadmap. So, but there are examples, for instance, that this optimized one of $30 million, that comes from one of our larger customers, the savings that they were able to see and realize and point to based on optimizing that software or minimizing the security vulnerabilities. So you can see in each one of these stages, we would want to see you succeed as you go through this maturity process, and no matter which stage you are in.
If you do want some additional detail on any of this, we encourage you to reach out to your sales team, and they can talk about this topic, do a drill down demo. They have access to the same demo system. There are also some resources here. We also have some events that are coming up. We have our popular APM Vision series coming up on March 12th. I also believe we're having our SPM Vision series on the 19th. SPM Academy, our next webinar will be on February 29th. We'll post that shortly as well. So I think that's about all the time we have. I want to thank Adam Smith-Cairns. Appreciate you taking the time, Adam, to talk about this solution with me. I also want to thank my co-producer, John Lim, as always, for helping to set this up, and very appreciative to our SPM Academy last Thursday's audience. We hope we'll see you in February and every last Thursday this year. Thanks again, everyone.